So this is the second sentence on our worksheet. Maybe you want to try this on your own and then come back and see how you did. Or you want to just kind of follow along with me because you're like, hey, can you just unpack this for me to show me how to do this? And I would be happy to do either one. So if you've done it ahead of time and you want to check your answer, just fast forward through the video and just see at the very end and see if yours matches up with mine. And if you're unsure, you just want to walk with it with me through this, cool. All right, so first things first is a there transformation, and we definitely have a there transformation on our quiz. So I want to practice getting rid of this word there. So he kicks out. So which means I have this verb are. Well, the verb's got to go somewhere. So what happens is when I kick that word there out of the sentence, things have to shift around. So what you're really saying is hippies are, and you're like, they are what? And they are driving around Lancaster City in a stolen school bus. And, there's two verbs, prophesying that Mother Earth will win the presidential election. Well, that's news to me because I've already said in my ballot and I didn't vote for Mother Earth. All right. So first things first, I realize I'm going to have two verbs, and then I know that back here I'm going to have something more complicated. It looks like I'm going to have a noun clause. It starts off with that word that. So I'm just anticipating I'm going to have a bit of a mess in the back of the sentence. But in the meantime, let's take on what we do know. That's not what I want to do. I want to come over here and change this color. So I'm just going to be forward thinking. I'm just going to get that word there out of the sentence immediately. And I encourage you to do the same. So let's get that out of the sentence, and he's kicked out. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy sort of in the middle of that white space because I'm going to have a subject here and give myself a little bit of nub. I'm looking here. I don't think I'm going to need the nub, but I'm just going to give myself anyway. And then I'm going to do a nice strong split only because I could see, particularly this bottom part's going to be a little more complicated. So here it comes this way. You know what? I do need the nub. I'll tell you why here in a second. I can see that already. My subject is going to be hippies. One of my favorite subjects, hippies. And then you have two verbs. And your verbs are driving and are prophesying. And so now I realize, I'm going to change my color a little bit. I realized, hey, this nub is nice. What I can use is I can put the word are here, and then I can put my two INGs up here. I can say driving, and then they are, and then down here, prophesying, sizing, right? Prophesizing, sighing, butchering this word. All right, so there we go. And so if you don't like that and you want to put the word are twice, you could, but you have to have the are twice if you don't want to put it here on the nub. What I mean by that is you can say the hippies up here are driving and the hippies are prophesying. You have to put the word are with both because in an ing, you have to have a to be verb with it. So I thought I'd just simply write the word are once and they can share the verb, which is very hippie-like to share things. Look at that. It's a nice transition. So let's put a little dashed line here. And let's put that and in here and just get that out of the way. So far, this is pretty easy. Let's take on that top half. That's the easy part, which is they're driving where? Around Lancaster City, and they're driving. It's not Lancaster City in a stolen bus, but they're driving in a stolen bus. So I have two prep phrases which are separate. I'm going to make sure everyone is cool with that. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to come down with around, which is, I didn't give myself a whole lot of room. I'm going to treat Lancaster City as all one big name. If you want to separate it, you could. I was just going to treat Lancaster City as a name, Lancaster City like that. And then I have, they're driving. And remember, it's not Lancaster City in a stolen bus, but they're driving in bus. I'm not sure why hippies like buses. Maybe they have large families. So a bus, it's a stolen bus. And it's a school bus. All right, nothing groundbreaking there. All right, there we go. It's the second part, which kind of is nice because it challenges us to go back and practice a little bit of what we learned last week on a Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere around those 2 days. We talked about noun clauses. So here it is, that Mother Earth will win the presidential election. All right, a couple things I know. It starts off with the word that, which right now is introducing a noun clause for me. And I know it's a clause because it's both a subject, Mother Earth, as well as a verb, will win. So I got to think, okay, if this is a noun, what noun is it? Well, the hippies are prophesying what? And so this thing naturally answers the question of what. So it must be some kind of direct object. So let's make it a direct object. And means they're going to have to put it up on a tree because this whole thing is trying to be the direct object. It's kind of a shallow looking tree trunk, but we'll go with it. So when I get up here, I know I'm going to do everything except for that word that, because the word that's going to float. So my verb is will win. My subject's in front of it, which is Mother Earth. We'll see if we can get her all in here. Here's Mother Earth. And she will win direct object. And I know you're thinking like, well, I thought you already had a direct object. Yeah, once again, the direct object of prophesying is this whole noun clause, but the direct object specifically of will win is election. And God help us if Mother Earth wins the presidential election. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that might be good. I don't know. So the election, and then we'll say presidential election. There we go. And then lastly, we know the word that gets to float. I'm going to change my color so maybe you can see a little better. And in respect to Mother Earth, I'll use green. And so remember, the word that has to touch one of those three words here. And so this has more room here, and I put it here. But once again, I'm so stuck on my respect to my 7th grade English teacher, so I'm going to put it right here. So we'll put the word that. Remember, you can float it above Mother Earth, you can float it above election, but I'm going to float above will win because that's how I was taught. And this is a great example of a nice, strong sentence. If you're curious, I forgot, I didn't put it on my last sentence, but this is a pattern 6 because the hippies are driving up here. This is just an action verb. And then down here, this is a nice little pattern 7 because the hippies are prophesying direct object what? There we go. In the last sentence was a pattern 6. I apologize for not telling you that, but we had the sentence which said a rumor is going, and everything else underneath it. So it's a nice little pattern 6. Once again, we're kicking the word there out of the sentence, and this becomes a there transformation. We've just simply transformed the sentence back and kicking the word there out of the sentence. Good.